Hi everyone, it's Karen and I'm back to share my design team project for the month of February, my first one for AngeldreamCraftsKim on Etsy. And what you're seeing is a close-up while I chat for a minute or two, and then I will show you the whole project. I just want to remind you that Kim has a beautiful shop on Etsy, and she has beautiful laces and trims, bling, charms, pieces of fabric, just to name a few of the things that she's getting in beads. She's going to be getting in stick pin kits. So there is some wonderful things coming, and you want to be a part of this group. You can join the Facebook group, and I will leave links in the description box below so that you can join the group and you will get a heads up when things are going in the store. You can also join us on Instagram, and we post all the new things in the store on Instagram so that you can see the new products going in and get them before they sell out. Her things do sell out very quickly, and she does try and restock anything that is a big seller. The designers who are currently designing for Kim are also listed in the description box below. They are a talented group of ladies. I'm very, very proud to be a part of this team, and you need to go over and check them out because they are making really super inspirational projects that you're gonna love to see and hopefully want to create yourself. So without any more chit chat, let's have a look at the project that I created for my first project for the month of February. Here she comes. What I created this month is a ring-bound journal, and it is a journal, but also it has sort of a folio type style to it as well. So it's two things in one. The journal is completely removable, and another one could be inserted when that one is full. And with the ring bound, it's easy to make holes and things to add them to this journal as well for your own. It doesn't require a tie. It's quite full. I'll show you a side view here. And it still lies quite flat just because of the rings on the side here. So there is room to add more things to it, and you could also take some of the things out of it that are in it. I have a little pack of goodies that will go along with this journal. It will be for sale, and information on that will be in the description box below. This is a pack of goodies. There's some ephemera, there's some handmade tags, and some little tuck spots in there as well. There's a pocket that was left over, and there's a few more tags on the back. Sorry for the glare off of the bag. And I just wanted to include them because they are part of this journal. I just didn't have room to put them all in, or I thought it might be fun for you. Because I've left the journal itself quite plain, I thought it'd be fun for you to add things in where you want. I also made some dangles to go along with this. I was just having fun making some for another project, so I decided to make a few and add them onto this big paper clip that I added here, so you can have fun with that paper clip too and alter it. And add or use the dangles. There's a little flower dangled off there and a little butterfly as well. So that little pack will go with the journal. And let's start with the front. So what I did was I had created this topper piece and already had it ready to go onto a journal that I was going to be making sometime this year, didn't know when. So this entire piece, which is all hand stitched, this is a tatted flower that I have hand stitched on here with a variegated embroidery floss. And there are beads also, white beads holding it down, and then there's some little tiny 11 seed beads in different sort of colors scattered all through here. There is several rolled roses on the cover. These two up here and these four here, and I've created those all with laces and with material. And then this piece here, these 4 roses, this is a piece from Kim's shop. This was from a previous design team package, but as I said, I had made this topper piece up last year with anticipation of using it. And so this is a dangle trim, and it's still available in her shop, and it's sort of a tea color, I want to call it. And it does have a dangle on it, but I took the dangle pieces off and just used 4 of the roses. They are such a beautiful rose, and really with using them like this, they're like an applique, and those are all just stitched on. And then there's some fabric, and then I've stitched on and put with straight stitches and some cross stitches here, some sequins and beading down the side here. I liked the combination of colors here with the pink and the sort of tea color and a bit of yellow, and so that was sort of the idea I had for that. And then I had bought this lace last year from Kim's shop, and I think she might even still have it in the shop. You'll have to go and look. But this is one of her beautiful laces, and I had this in mind to kind of go in with all these colors. When I got ready to make this journal, I pulled that in and used that around the edge of this topper piece. And that's all stitched onto a piece of fabric that you can hardly see any of. I added the dangle portion of, I'll just pull the laces in that I used here. I used the dangle portion of this lace, and that's still in the shop. That was in my design team package. I used just the dangles across the top. And I took little flowers from this lace here and added them across the top as well to hold down this dangle. And then this is a beautiful double pleated trim, tulle trim, netted trim from her shop. And this I had purchased when I purchased this one last year to go together. But she has lots of gorgeous pleated and gathered tulle trims in her shop, some with the polka dots and some not, and they are just so much fun to play with. So pick up some of those for sure. This is sort of a dusty rosy color, as is this lace with the darker stitching in it. And so that I used behind the topper along the side of the journal here. And then this lace again across the bottom. And then here I have one of her little bow charms from the shop. So cute. Then this is a little charm for my stash, and then it's just attached onto a little yellow safety pin, and I just added a little bling there. And she has the 2mm bling in her shop, and so you can just take them out of the actual cup chain casing that it's in and then use them as little pieces of bling without the cup chain. And I also forgot to mention I do have several buttons on here as well. Some of them are quite old. I don't know how old, but I know that they're older. I received them in a bundle from a friend, and she did tell me that they were quite old. And then some of them are newer ones, and I've just used beads to stitch some of them on with, and some French knots and other stitches to stitch the other ones on. And this is one of the wooden buttons Kim had in her shop last year, I believe. I don't know if she still has them, but that one is stitched on up there. And then at the very bottom, I put a piece of this gorgeous dangle trim that was in my design team package. And that is such a pretty trim. And it's got such a cute little dangle on the bottom here. It's really, really, I just think it's so pretty and so sweet. And that's this one here. And then behind that one, I put another piece of this lace that was in Kim's shop last year. I think she might still have it. You'll have to go look. It's really, really pretty. And that goes along with the one on the edge. And then behind that, you will see this one in its entirety, which is on the top. This is the one that's at the top that I showed you. I used the whole piece, but it's actually the back side of it you're seeing, because that's on the inside of the front page. And then on the rings, I added all this yummy goodness because I just had to. That's one of the things I love doing with a ring journal, is I love decorating up the rings. So what I have done is I have tied just a plain, this tassel piece is on the back side, I'll show it to you after, but a plain piece of lace from my stash, beautiful piece of the pink fabric from Kim's shop, which I know she reordered this, so it's in the shop. And then a few pieces, I think there's 5 pieces of the leaf trim, which is still in the shop. This is such a versatile trim. I have this one, but she has two different ones in the shop. One has a plain topper on it, and this one has the fancier one. And I'll show you how I used a piece of this inside the journal, but I cut off, and these are super long, these pieces of tangle. And so I just gathered them all together with a piece of thread, and I just tied them on to the ring. But they still move, so there's still movement. The rings can still open and close. And then on this one, I added a little yellow bulb pin. And Kim does have bulb pins in the shop. Hers, I believe, are silver, and she says silver and gold. You'll have to go check and see. I just happened to get my hands on some colored ones, and I wanted to use the yellow ones to just add the little pop of yellow on the side here. This is one of her gorgeous heart blings with the pink center and the rhinestones all around the edge. This is one of the larger ones. She's had smaller ones and this size. This is about, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch, and it's hung there. And then this middle tassel is all the same pieces. So it has the tassel at the back, which I'll show you. And then it has the lace and that beautiful fabric. And then on this one, I've made a tassel out of this gorgeous trim that I love, love, love. And you know it's one of my, it is got to be probably one of my favorites, or my favorite. This is it here. This is just an extra little piece I have. I still have a little bit more left. I will hoard the last foot of it, no doubt. But there's a little piece of it, and I just love it. And it made it into a tassel here. And then I just added a little yellow flower from my stash and a sequin and a bead on that one. And that's also attached with the little yellow bulb pin. And then this one, the tassel's exactly the same again. There's a tassel piece at the back, which I'll show you when I show you the back of the journal. And then lace and beautiful pink fabric. And then on this one, on the little yellow bulb pin, I have added a little butterfly from my stash, and I added some little beads on there. So that's this whole luscious side of this pretty folio journal. Let's go inside. I created the cover and the back out of the Amazon packaging again that I like to use. So it has a soft sort of pliable feel to it, but the fabric and everything just strengthens it all and makes it a really nice sturdy cover. So when you first open her up, the paper line is the Beauty Fair from Shabbydabbydoodah, and I've added in yellow accents, which are not a part of the paper line, just to bring that through into the journal. But otherwise, I just love these papers. They're very, very pretty, very, very girly. So at the top here, I did a pleated topper here out of this beautiful polka dot trim, and I think I might have a tiny piece of it left. Yes, I do. This is it here, and I believe this is one of the netted trims that she has in the shop. This one happens to be a flat one. Others are gathered, some are pleated. It's so easy to pleat it yourself or gather it yourself. I mean, if you gather it, just run a needle and thread through the bottom. You can gather them up. This time I pleated it, so I made pleats out of it all the way along, added that to the top here, and then added this pretty trim here that I have a little tiny piece left of with a little like roses and the little green leaves on it. So, so pretty. Added that to the center, but offset it a little bit because I wanted you to still see all the stitching I had done there when I hand gathered. So there's some pink embroidery floss that's running through here. And then that's attached sort of to the top of this little piece here, which is a little flippy pad. And I've used the paper line, plus I've collaged more pieces on top of it. Just caught the edge of I made this butterfly a double one, so there's one on the paper, and then I added one to the top. So she's a bit loose, like she's flying. Added in some of these little daisies with the yellow centers from my own stash. And this is part of the paper line, the roses and the typewriter and that. This is a label from another paper line. And then this is the papers that I have put throughout this journal. And these are all tea stained, and I did these myself. And I have always wanted to do it, but I never had one of these vinyl mats. And I finally found one, and this one's super pretty with the leaves and the flowers on it. And so I just laid it down on top of my paper and I just sprayed with a spray bottle. And then you lay another piece of paper over the top. So you get two stencils done at the same time. One is lighter than the other. And that's how it turns out. It's so pretty. And I did the front and the back. And often when I tried to alternate it. So this is sort of the light way it looks when it's lighter. This is darker again. And I tried to use different areas on the stencil. So those are the papers, and they're really crinkly, and I don't iron my papers. I just put them underneath a very heavy box full of craft supplies when I'm finished, when they're finished drying. And I always do them on a day when I am either cooking something in the oven that the temperature is up, or baking something, and then I lay them out on the top of I have a flat surface on the top of my stove, and I just lay them there to dry, and they dry really quickly. Here's one from the paper line just in the back, and so that's the flippy pad that flips up, and then behind that is the back of the front cover. It's all been collaged. A lot of it got covered up after I added the pocket here. Added a little yellow butterfly applique on there from my stash. There's, you can see there's tags here in this pocket, and they both have the tabs on the top are that pink fabric from Kim's shop. I'll hold it up against the white there. So pretty. I love this fabric. It's so versatile. You can use it so many ways. And then there's a collection of roses here with the pink ones in yellow and a little tag. So that's there. And then I used gray, and I can't think of the name of these. Just completely gone from my brain. So you'll have to forgive me, but I've used those to secure the holes that are going through the rings. And this is just a smaller page. I did the pages different sizes so that you can kind of see one page to the next. And this one has like a little side belly band, and I've tucked in a bunch of little goodies inside here. There's little pieces that can be written on or used in the journal. There's a little typewriter with the roses. There's a little card there, and it could be flipped either way. And then there's a little label here too, all tucked under that cute little belly band. And then I used this piece of Kim's lace, and that's just the bottom piece from that one that I showed you, this one. I just used this piece here. I just cut that off, that little swoop with the little dangle pieces, and I added that across the top of the page here. And I added the heart trim along the bottom, and I actually wrapped it right around to the back so that it creates a double dangle at the bottom here. And it's on the back side as well. And on this side, I also cut out 4 of the little hearts from the heart fabric. They're actually cut out really easy, a couple little snips, and they come out, and I added those in the center of those hearts. So, and this is the heart trim here. So pretty. And then we flip that over, page over, and we have the back side. I put a belly band down the center on this side. There is a couple little things tucked in here as well. There is a little tag, and then there's a little envelope, and I've created one of my little wax seals on the back of that. That holds it closed, and I haven't sealed it. I've just left it open so the person that gets it can seal it, or they can use it for hidden journaling. And also inside are all these little bits, roses and little pieces that you could use, and some stamps too that are from the collection that you could use in the journal yourself. These little bits are really fun because you can put them down and use them as tuck spots when you put them down in your journal. So they can be really handy if you want to add things to the journal and need something to tuck them under. This belly band I've created with that belly band's in the line, the paper line, and then, or the digital, and then I added the butterfly to the top here with her wings flapping and some little bit of bling mesh down the center. Another one of Tina's paper lines has, a newer one has these perfume bottles, and I absolutely adore them. They are so, so cute, and they come in all different sizes. And then this the word love, I just painted that with some wax and added that in. It's a rose gold and added that in. But don't you just love, look at how this layers up here with Kim's laces. The heart lace, this one with this trim on it, and then you can see that rosy one in the background. I mean, honestly, isn't that just so pretty? Oh my goodness. So over on this page, we have, this is actually the first part of the journal. And she is this big. She has a few things clipped inside with paper clips, but otherwise she is plain inside. She's got some digital papers from the paper line. This one that I have put another digital paper on the back side of it. Then it has some of my tea stain papers in it. And I put a little bookmark that I hand stitched in here just because I was sitting one evening watching a movie and I needed something to keep my hands busy. So this is how she ended up getting created. So she's got beautiful pieces on her from Kim's shop. This is that pink bridal lace that she has with the sequins on it, and I've just taken pieces of it in little swirls and created that with and added. It's all been stitched on by hand. There's French knots and straight stitches. There is a little die cut butterfly on here, and I have stitched her all on with beads and sequins. And this is another piece of the bridal trim that's been added here. And I cut out some of the leaves and added them in with, again, I used a slightly darker embroidery floss so it stands out a bit. This is another one of her, and this is still in the shop too. I had this from last year, but a couple pieces of it left. And it reminds me kind of a little bit of fuchsia flowers, the little florals. So I added some stitches on those and added those in there coming down. And then this is another piece of the bridal trim, and this has all been put on with beads. The sequins are in the center, and I used some tiny little lavender seed beads to put those all on with. I love using beads with Kim's trims. They just look, especially the bridal trims, they just go together beautifully. And I just framed it around that little photo that was in the corner of that paper line. And then this is just a flat lace that I had. Kim has lots of flat laces in the shop that are about the same width and that. I just didn't happen to have one, so I used that little bit from my stash. So that's a little piece that I put in there that can be moved around. You can see all the stitching on the back, and some of the stitching is hidden underneath. So I stitch from the top and I don't come all the way through the paper, but these are the stitches that have come through the other side. So, and then there's a couple of spots where I have created these little tuck spots and added some laces and bits on them. There's some of the cup chain from Kim's shop, and those have just paper clipped in so they can be removed, and you don't have to have them in there at all. You can use them somewhere else, or you can use them to tuck something behind. And then there's lots of room to add in your own a little bit of vellum there just for interest. And all the paper clips are fun paper clips. They've got the hearts on them, or this is a heart paper clip in the pink. And then this is part of the paper line. This lovely, there's another piece of vellum there. And then the inside cover is all part of the paper line, and there's some gray fabric just to reinforce the spine. And then I've done a tuck spot here with these beautiful roses and yellow roses that I added in to make a little tuck spot. And then I put a label and one of those gorgeous perfume bottles in there. And then this is a piece of Kim's lace. Now, did I pull that one out? That is one from last year, but I noticed it's still in the shop. So I do look and I try and use items that she still has in the shop. In this case, I took this trim, which looks like, I want to turn it so that you see the right side. It looks like this. So if you're looking for it in the shop, this is it. And I just cut along the bigger flowers. As you can see, it's been removed, and I used that to scroll along the side of this page. I just liked how it looked rather than the whole piece. And these, of course, I can use in other applications. You can always use flowers. So that's lovely pieces from her shop. And as I said, this has all been stitched. Where's the center? I think there's 12 pages in here. Whoa. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, seven. So there's 14 pages. It's been stitched in using stitches so that they went between the tabs that are here that hold it on to the rings. So there's 3 tabs that I added here with the, which I still can't remember the name of them. There they are. I added those, and that clips it onto the actual rings, and then these pages are all sewn in. And I just added a couple little butterflies onto the strings there. And this whole piece, I just will, and then just before I do that, I did add these pretty beads along the side as well from another string that I attached. I'll just move that out of the way for a second. You can easily open the rings. You just turn them until you see the opening, and then this whole journal piece can be lifted off of here. So what's nice about that is you could take this with you when you went somewhere, and you could just take these out of the front. I just added these extra things into the front. That's what the front cover looks like. Beautiful paper line using part of one of Kim's laces. Now I think I don't have any left, but this is a piece off of the one that has the pearls all grommeted down through it. And then there's I used it on the, I think on the inside of my Valentine box. And it has those beautiful pearls. And I had this piece left, and I just really like it. The top is just as pretty. So I took all the pearls off and I saved them. And I can use them to put in the centers of my rolled roses and different things. And what it is it's got this pretty little like loopy piece on the sides, and this is sort of like almost like a knitted piece in the middle. And so I added that all down the side of the journal. The laces have an endless ability to be able to use them in so many different applications. And I'm just going off screen for a second because I saw a little bit of something sticking out the top of here that I didn't like. This is a piece of a tablecloth that I had, and I stitched that with some embroidery stitches. This is a whole piece that I made separate, so a side band, and it has the this piece of lace down the side, this one here, and remember I've used it now 3 times. So I used it as a full dangle. I used just the dangle bits. And then see down the side here, there's these loops, and then there's like triangles. That's so pretty. That is such a pretty trim, just right there. So taking the dangles off, which I can use in another way, I use this piece all the way down with just those triangles and the loop all the way down the side of here. Now a lot of the triangles got covered up, but they are there. You can see them, you can peek at them. There they are, and they're showing here too. And then I added in some of the paper line pieces. Did a little bit of a gathered flower at the top, one of my tatted butterflies here, and one of Kim's pretty little cabochons right here. And this is a full pocket on the side of the front of the journal, and I did tuck some goodies in there. I just tucked in a piece of the paper and a tag that I created and a journaling card. So just extra space, or places that you could write a note, send it to someone, or add it into, these are so cute to add into a bouquet of flowers when you're giving them to someone. You just can write your little sentiment on the front here, and then your little note on the back, and then tuck that into the flowers rather than adding in one of the standard ones from that you can pick up at a florist shop. It's much nicer to put in something more personalized. And then you could use that tuck spot for anything you wanted as well. So it's a really cute little journal. It's got, like I said, there's quite a bit of room in there. What did I do? On the inside of the back cover, I added a pocket with a collage of roses and a yellow butterfly. And then that's what the back looks like. This is another trim from Kim's shop. This is, now I did keep a piece of this too. This is one of my favorites. This is from last year. She has always got some kind of this type of lace in the shop though. And even some of it sometimes is gathered. That doesn't matter. You can cut the gather part off. It's these that are wonderful, wonderful pieces to use. You cut them out, and what I did is I cut them out individually so that below these bigger ones there was all these smaller ones, and I cut them all out in 2s or 1, and I added them all down the side of the journal here. And I mean, it's so pretty, and this lace has a raised thread on it, so it has texture. So when you run your your fingers down the side of there, you can feel the wonderful texture that creates. These flat laces are just beautiful, and I love this color. This is that sort of creamy light tea color that I like. And this is just a little clip that you can open up and write in, or you could, again, write a little note in there and give that to a friend. That is the little journal, and I'm just going to pop her back in there quickly, because really it takes no time at all and is so simple and easy. And then I'm going to just close the rings back up, which again is simple and easy. And I'm going to carry on. Now this little fell out of here. So this is the back of the journal. I also put one of those, whoops, move it over. I also put one of those gorgeous strips down the side again here that I have made. This one has a gray polka dot and a pink fabric. It has the beautiful leaf trim sort of stitched along the side as well, and it has pieces from the collection, including some of the perfume bottles and labels from another one, and a little bit of yellow flowers to add in there. And then I collaged on the back of the journal as well, adding in more of the pink roses, some yellow flowers. This is another gorgeous netted trim from Kim's shop. This is again one of my favorites. I now have none left, which makes me sad. But it has a netting and then this gorgeous stitching on top. And there's florals and leaves and buds. And it's so easy to cut it. I'm pretty sure this is the trim I used around my box that I did. And it's so, so pretty. Again, very textural, has lots of, the stitching is raised. And also some of the stitching has a bit of a shine in the thread. So it's really pretty. So I used that down the side. And then this is, of course, a tuck spot. So I put a couple of journaling cards in there, and I've just used the paper line and some other pieces to go together, and they are on the back. They have the pretty tea stained paper that I created. Okay, and then this is the flip out part of this. So this is sort of like, this is the journal in the middle, and then the folio is sort of on the outside edges. So this is a flip here. So we start here, and this has that gorgeous lace across the top again that I used on the front, but just a small portion of it. And that's what's so fun about these laces too. Do I have any of that one left? I don't think I do. So I can't even show you, but it's just a portion of it. And I've just cut it off and used that across the top. It's all collage work done on top of the actual paper line. So I've used the paper line, and then I've added the butterfly in on top, the yellow roses, little butterfly there. I put this beautiful pocket on here, and I've edged her with the beautiful tulle trim again that's running down the side of the whole piece. And I've put a couple layers on there, and there's that same one that's running along here that I was describing. There's a little piece of it there. And this one is a flip, so there are little, here I did not use rings to join this together. I used my own handmade little rings, like reinforcement rings, and then I added the beautiful heart tool in there to hold that all together. And then this pocket has a pretty journaling card plain on the back, and then a little booklet that I created. So it has a piece of Kim's lace, of course, on the binding, and then a pin with little seed beads and a little charm heart on there. Kim has lots of beautiful charms in her shop. That one just happens to be from my stash. Then again, just some collage work on the front, little pink bow. Kim has bows in her shop as well. Inside, just a little pocket there with a little piece of ephemera in there. And then again, some more of that paper I have created. And I just made a little fold out thing here that you could write on, and then it flips over, and then there's a little pocket at the back, a little tuck spot at the back too. So, and I just took that little piece because it was kind of fun, and I put it over top the tag and then nestled it down over top the pocket that I had created, which has the paper line and little butterfly. Another one of those pieces that I had from my stash that I painted with the antique wax in rose gold, and just added that there. And then this just sort of fits over top here and kind of just fits under the edges of those, the wings of those butterflies, so it sits in there quite nicely. And then this flips this way, so that's why the ties are here. This flips open, and what you have here is another collaged page with a big pocket here, beautiful laces down this side. This is that same lace that's across here, is also across the top, and then the one that I just described where I cut it out of here, those go down the side here. And I love using that flat lace with those flowers cut out. It's just looks so pretty. So this pocket is full of all kinds of goodies. There is the page itself, again collaged on top of the line of paper line with some more little splashes of yellow and little butterflies added in, and another one of those gorgeous little perfume bottles and a little label. And then in it are some journal cards, which I'll just quickly show you. They just all tuck inside of here. And another one all finished on the back. All have the pink. There's one of the little girl. That one has a butterfly and flowers on it. And I just arranged them in there so that her little face peeked out. And these are a couple of the other ephemera pieces. Oh, that one's, I will put a piece of lined, or one of my tea stain papers on the back of that. I obviously had printed on that paper twice, and I didn't notice that. I'll leave that out so that I fix that. And then I just added in this little butterfly from the line too. Put a piece of lace on the back to reinforce it so it's nice and firm, a little bit of bling. And I just tucked that on the edge of here because I just thought it looked cute. And then on this side is another one of those beautiful side bands that I created. This one again is all fabric and lace. And this is a piece that was from Kim's shop from last year. I had kept. It's a beautiful piece of leaf trim that had a it was a part of a dangle piece, and I kept it. And of course, this is when all these pieces come out, because this is when you can really use them, is when you're making these pieces up. And I just added in laces and some little bit of fibers and did a whole bunch of stitches on here and added some sequins and another one of the little handmade pieces, ribbon pieces, and a little bow. As I said, Kim has bows in her shop. And then I used that tuck spot to put another little mini, just a mini scrappy little thing with more of that paper in it. And again, collaged on the front, added in some of the little daisy flowers and a lace down the side. So that just tucks in there, and that all flips closed. And then this is the back of that page. I'm just going to get that lace out of the way there. And it's just beautiful paper line, pretty butterflies, beautiful little dangle piece made here with laces from Kim's shop. That's that favorite lace of mine. I just took 3 of the pieces and I dangled them off this little pin here and added in a little charm, the little pocket. It's filled with little postage stamps and tags from the paper line to use as you might want to. As I said, these can be really nice to use for tuck spots. Added some appliques to the back of there and another one of my little butterflies. And then this is the back page. I have used that beautiful tool again, and this, you can see it throughout when you're paging through. You see it sticking out here. And this is where it's attached, is on the back page. And I did it sort of in a swoopy manner between the ring holes, and then added in another one of my little yellow tatted butterflies. This is another trim from Kim's shop. This is from last year, but I do believe it's still in the shop. That's why I wanted to use it and bring it to your attention. I love it cutting it up. And these are the pieces that I used across the top of here. So I just fussy cut them out, made sure the beads were well attached by putting just glue along the backs of them, and I lay them down onto my silicone mat and give them a minute to dry. And then the beads are all well attached, and then I cut them out and I added them 3 pieces across the top of here. This is a piece, this is the back side of the trim that had the pearl piece on it. So down the center of this was, now can I remember where it is? No. Oh, here, it's on the front of the journal. So this piece here that had the pearls attached to it was on top of this piece of organza. So I took it all apart and I re-pleated the organza to go across the top here. So it's a nice sort of thick pleat on it, adds a lot of bulk and looks really pretty at the top of the journal. I have this one pleated across the top here and this one pleated across the back, because the back and front cover are both a little bit larger than the rest of the journal, and I made it that way so that it was just gave things more room, and you can tuck more things in and higher if you wanted to. And then I added those pieces in as well. So that was to add more decorative edge to that. And then this is the top of that lace that I had mentioned I had used. It has the dangles on it. That's this one. I used the top to create the top of this pocket. The bottom is the beautiful, it's the heart fabric, and that created the bottom of the pocket. And then to edge it, I used the leaf trim. So therefore no glue goes actually on this mesh stuff, and any glue that gets attached here to the side is actually attached with the leaf trim and across the top with this trim. So it keeps it all really neat. And this is a beautiful piece of bling from Kim's shop, one of the heart ones. And then in this pocket, I have just added another piece of the paper line, and it's all collaged behind it here. So it looks really pretty, even if there's nothing in this pocket. And then I created a little bag full of little pieces that are going to go to whoever purchases this. There's some hearts and some cabochons, wooden butterflies, some pink bows and another butterfly, some of the little yellow daisies, and a little crystal heart, and some bulb pins and some safety pins, all from my stash. The cabochons are from Kim's shop, and I gave a couple of those, one with florals and one with one of the ladies on it, so that if you've not experienced her cabochons, you will get a chance, because they are absolutely gorgeous and you're going to want more. And then I also had created a stick pin, thought I might use it but didn't, so it matches the beads that are on the front of the journal, so I just added that in to that little bag, and whoever gets it can do with it what they want. It's very pretty pink and white crystals and some beads on there. And then the back cover is very simple. It's a gray fabric with a bit of scripty stamp on it. That was done. I didn't do the stamping. And I put a layer of that beautiful pink fabric over the top of it, and it's all been stitched down on the machine. And then I added one of her gorgeous hearts in the corner here, tipped. I've left it as a little tuck spot. I haven't put anything in there, but I thought I'd leave it that way, unglued, so that if someone wanted to tuck something in there, they could. And then the backs, I said I would mention, this is the tassel piece that's on the back, and this is a fabric piece that I had in my stash that had all these tassels on it, and so I just created them so they fit onto here and added them on the back for a little bit more fullness, and of course the prettiness of them, adding that to what was already on there, so that they are really pretty, and it's pretty from the back. And that's her from the side, in case you want to see her. That's a little bit of that dangle sticking out there. There we go. And the front. So I think she turned out super, super pretty. Hope that someone wants her and wants to make her a part of their collection of journals, or one that they want to give away as a gift. Either way, it would be really, really beautiful. And you get that package of goodies to go with it. And please go check out Kim's shop, AngeldreamCraftsKim on Etsy. And also check out all the designers who are making beautiful inspirational projects that you're going to want to see. And I will be back soon with some other things to share, and maybe even a tutorial if I can get that organized, and with also later in the month with my second design team project. And I will see you all then. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.